Many are speculating that Congress, in fact, Speaker Mike Johnson, is using this political tool conveniently to shield the Epstein files. He did it this summer when he released everybody a day early, right when they were about to. There was a measure that was gaining steam that would force the release of the Epstein files. What did Speaker Mike Johnson do? He said, everybody go home a day early. Obviously meant to block the release of the Epstein files.
Let's talk about this. The government, they're supposed to be back in session, right? But Mike Johnson is stopping that from happening. Headline, there's nothing for us to negotiate, Johnson says amid a shutdown. So here's what Thomas Massie says. The government is shut down, but the House refuses to go back in session. Ugh. Why are we in recess? Because the day we go back into session, I have 218 votes for the discharge petition to force a vote on releasing the Epstein files. Speaker Johnson doesn't want that to be the news.
Now that's very interesting, Jimmy. That's a very interesting.
That is
wrinkle
very
I didn't
interesting.
see coming. Yeah, wow, that's something.
All I'm going to say is we're going to see a cure for cancer before we see the Epstein files. I'll tell you that. We're going to discover that pigs can fly, and yeah. I bet they get a carbon offset like Bill Gates does. But we will. That's what's going to before. So that he's literally not bringing the Congress into session because he knows Thomas Massie has enough votes to get a discharge petition on the.
I forgot.
What's that?
I forgot about this. This was about to happen, and then all I heard about was the shutdown.
Yes.
And I forgot what a factor. Boy, it must be something real bad in them files, Jimmy.
Well, it makes me think that Mike Johnson's in those files or something, or he's getting direct orders from Trump.
If that ever came, it will never come out.
Or maybe, Mike Johnson is just a big cuck to AIPAC and Israel as anybody. So it's probably a combination of those things. Here's what they're calling this like Epstein shutdown. Here's what Kim Iverson has to say about it.
So one big question that a lot of people are having is whether or not this government shutdown that we're in the middle of, which, by the way, government shutdowns, talk about a hoax. Many are speculating that Congress, in fact, Speaker Mike Johnson, is using this political tool conveniently to shield the Epstein files. He did it this summer when he released everybody a day early, right when they were about to. There was a measure that was gaining steam that would force the release of the Epstein files. What did Speaker Mike Johnson do? He said, everybody go home a day early. Obviously meant to block the release of the Epstein files.
A false headline in the New York Times. It said House Republicans are, quote, adjourning until September to avoid a vote on releasing the Epstein material.
Now, Republicans have been lying about what the government shutdown is. So why are we even having a shutdown? What's going on is that there's a new member of Congress. Her name is Adelita Grijalva, except she hasn't been sworn in yet. And she has sworn that when she is sworn in to Congress, that she will be basically the tipping vote that would force the release of the Epstein files.
Can you confirm that you are planning on signing the discharge petition to force the release of the Epstein documents?
I absolutely will be that decisive 218 signer.
And the government's shut down. Oh, isn't that just unfortunate? I guess we can't vote on those Epstein files when the government's shut down. We want the Epstein files. That's what was promised. Are we ever going to see these files? Are the Republicans, as Donald Trump and his administration, willing to shut down the government endlessly in order to protect Epstein and his deep state intel blackmail operation that is now blackmailing an entire nation? The President of the United States, Mike Johnson, the Speaker of the House, here they are in cahoots, covering everything up.
So nobody was saying Mike Johnson was connected to the Epstein files until he shut down this vote. And now everybody's thinking he's on the list. And he's got to release those files just to clear his name.
Wait, wasn't he though? Didn't we do a story with him where he was mad at Massie having to do with these files? And that's what I suspected. Because he could go and bless your heart.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. So here is that woman. Mike Johnson hasn't sworn in his new Democrat. Is it because she wants to release the Epstein files? Congress's newest member, Adelita Grijalva, came to Washington, D.C. this week expecting to be officially sworn in by the Speaker of the House, Mike Johnson. 2 days later, she returned to her Southern Arizona district disappointed. No swearing-in ceremony has been organized, meaning Grijalva, a Democrat who easily won a special election last month to replace her late father, was not able to start her new job. trapped in the purgatorial status of the representative-elect, she had to be escorted around the Capitol building by her soon-to-be colleagues like any other member of the public. Her name is on the door of her new office, but she does not have the keys. I want to get to work, and I can't, Grijalva says. She thinks she knows the reason why Johnson is in no rush to administer the oath. In addition to co-sponsoring bills on the environment, public education, other issues she campaigned on, Grijalva plans to provide the final signature on a petition that would force a vote on legislation to release files related to the accused trafficker, Jeffrey Epstein, which the Speaker and Donald Trump oppose. I can't think of any other reason. It's not like my being sworn in changes the majority. And the last thing anybody in Congress wants is somebody who's willing to do their job, because it makes the rest of them look bad by comparison.
I think it puts her in grave danger is what that sounds like to me.
That's what it sounds
How
like.
has it just come down to one vote? Do you know how destroyed and compromised your government is when there's one deciding vote to expose this terrible crime?
Right.
Isn't that insane?
It is. So that means that there's 217 members who don't want to expose it.
Like that. What do you need me to draw a picture? Like that's what your government is.
The matter of Epstein files has for months been a thorn in the side of the president and his allies in Congress. Though Trump has decried it as a Democrat hoax, his own Commerce Secretary said it's not a hoax and said that Bill Gates is in on it. Ludnick, right, who is his Commerce Secretary, who I've been told, who I've heard, I'm not saying I've been told, who I've heard is his AIPAC handler inside of his own administration, because if you go all the way back to 9/11, very sketchy stuff in Ludnick's past, right? He didn't show up for work that day on 9/11. He decided to take his kid to school. Isn't that weird? Anyway, check me on all that about Ludnick, but I'm pretty sure it's real.
Thank God we almost lost Ludnick, Jimmy.
I know. It just needs to. The signatures of 200. The House did hold a 3.5-minute procedural session on Tuesday, one Grijalva attended along with dozens of Democrats in hopes of getting Johnson to swear her in. No luck, even though Johnson administered the oath of 2 Republicans who won special elections in Florida during a similar session earlier this year. That doesn't make sense why I wouldn't be sworn in the same pace as they were. And who is losing out are the constituents that need Congress to work for them. A spokesperson for Johnson pointed to his comments signaling that Grijalva will be sworn in when the House returns to session, but that will not happen until funding is restored to the government. The House will come back in session and do its work as soon as Chuck Schumer allows us to reopen the government, Johnson said today. But I thought Trump was a dictator, so he needs the approval. He needs Chuck Schumer to let the government back open. I thought Donald Trump got rid of all the norms, and he's a dictator and he does whatever he wants, and he got rid. That's not, you mean the Democrat, he still has to follow the checks and balances, and the Democrats actually still hold leverage, and he has to wait for Chuck Schumer to agree to open up the government and fund it again. I thought that he was just a dictator. Isn't that weird? He's not. So why, if he was a dictator, he would just dictate and he would just do whatever he wanted. He would open the government and they would be on with their business. But it's not. It's almost like all the time the Democrats have been saying Trump is acting like a dictator was just bullshit propaganda. It's almost like that. It's almost like that. In fact, it is. So there you got the 2 stories. You got the Democrats are pieces of garbage, and you got the Republicans are pieces of garbage. Isn't that weird? It's almost
217 of them, Jimmy.
It's or two. Maybe it's 216.
If you want to know who's a piece of shit in the government that should be rooted right out of it, if Trump was a real president, you got all the people who voted against this.
That's right. But
that would include Trump himself.
That would include Trump. So anyway, there you go. That's quite a story. And again, we're going to see pigs fly, and we'll cure cancer before we get those Epstein files. That by the way, Kash Patel was the loudest screamer about that, saying that the head of the FBI has all this information, and he's first thing he's going to do, they should do, is release it. And of course, here he is, the head of the FBI, and he's not releasing it. But if you want to hear my jokes about this, we'll see you in Australia. Now, if you can't get tickets, we're going to add more shows, so don't worry, right? So if you want to get a ticket in Melbourne and you get an error, that that just means they haven't got the ticket link yet for the new show. So our first shows have already sold out in Melbourne. We're adding new shows in Sydney, Brisbane, and we'll see you in Burbank the day after Thanksgiving and Pottstown, Pennsylvania on December 6th. Go to jimmydore.com for a link for those tickets. What's one thing you've noticed about your body changing as you've gotten older? How has that affected your approach to health and recovery? Turns out the secret to healing, recovery, and resilience isn't just luck, it's stem cells. These are your body's built-in repair crew. But as we age, that system slows down. Fewer cells, weaker signals, slower recovery. This is exactly why Qualia Stem Cell was created. You don't have to accept slowing down. Help your body renew itself by reactivating the systems that keep you moving, healing, and thriving with Qualia's stem cell formula. You only need to take it 4 days a month, preserving your body's regenerative capacity over time. So if you've ever felt like your body just isn't bouncing back like it used to, whether it's after a tough workout or getting sick or just the wear and tear of life, this is for you. Qualia Stem Cell was designed to support your body's natural repair systems, helping you heal, recover, and keep going strong. And right now, you can try it for up to 50% off at qualialife.com/door. And here's a bonus. Use the code DORE, D-O-R-E, for an additional 15% off your order. That's qualialife.com/door. Your body's built to repair itself. Qualia just helps it do that better. And a big thanks to Qualia for supporting this episode. October 19th, we'll be in Irvine, California. We'll be in Australia. Then we'll be in Burbank, California the day after Thanksgiving. And then Pottstown, Pennsylvania, December 6th. Go to jimmydore.com for a link for tickets.